Hello, everybody out there. It is Friday, April 24th, 2020, and it is a great day to be a junior Potter. Mr. Parrott here with your rundown of what's happened in science, which some of you already got a leg up on and already did, thanks to yesterday's. But up above, we got our general announcements, attendance by 11 a.m. Make sure you're doing that. And then everything else is pretty much the same old, same old. Remember, you can always resubmit assignments if you want to get a higher score. If you want to do that, just resubmit it. Let me know. I'll get in there, change it when I get around to changing it there. Usually it's pretty quickly, but depends on when I get that email notification that things are done there. And always remember to ask for help if something does not seem right, or if you're having troubles with anything. A lot of you utilize that on Thursday, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. So it was great to see. Speaking of Thursday, let's hop into what's happening on Friday right over here with our food chains around the world, day 2. We'll transition over here. Hey, there I am. Over on the other side now. What we got looking at right now, we're looking at day 1 because I want to make one comment about what day 1 meant. A lot of you look like you're doing a great job doing day 1, but some of you ran into a problem where the pictures that you were posting were too big for the box and you were having trouble resizing them. It is A-okay to leave them that big size. I can deal with it a lot easier when I'm using my computer than on the iPad. So if you're doing it on the iPad and putting it in there, it automatically blows them up and makes them gigantic. It is okay. I will be able to easily access them. And I think I got it to where if I just click on the picture, it will show me the entire image. So that'll make it real easy for me to go through and look at your pictures. So don't worry about resizing if you're having troubles figuring that out. I will take care of it for you. When I go to relook at it. So hopefully everything works well for you that way. Speaking of working well, you guys are truly working well. And as we transition into day 2, which day 2 is a part of the same document, just scroll down and you'll get to the desert part. So if you accidentally submitted it, you can unsubmit it and then fill out day 2 and resubmit it if you needed to do that. That is always a available option there to work on that stuff. But day 2, we're looking at a different environment. We're looking at the desert environment, which means we're going to probably get some different animals happening in there. So once again, kind of the process of how our food chains go. Remember, if you're in the first position over here, you're going to be a producer. If you're over here in the next position, this would be your herbivore or your primary consumer. So something that eats that plant. I would not, since I am a doggo. You would move on to your secondary consumer, something that would eat the thing that came before it. And then your final one would be your apex predator, the top of the food chain. And they would pretty much eat whatever came before them as well right there. So that is, remember, how we go about doing things. Remember, if you're putting the pictures in, don't worry about resizing them. I will figure that stuff out. Make sure you drop their names in there. And then also remember that there are 4 questions because I'm asking you why you place those in those positions. So I want you to explain why you put the producer as a producer, just to emphasize the role of what a producer does, or to emphasize the role of the primary consumer, the secondary consumer, the tertiary, which means third level consumer, going through there. So that's kind of a rundown of everything that we had. Now, before I sign off for today, I want to tell you, basically let you inside the curtains a little bit here to what this activity would have looked like if we were in class. If we were in class, we would have had each table be its own unique environment, and I would have actually had animals listed at each one of the tables, and you are going to use those animals to figure out what food chains they would have made in that location. And to kind of throw you off or to make it more challenging, there'd be the same animals at each table, so you would also have to figure out which ones would have been the best adapted for, like, the desert, to make sure you're using desert animals, or to make sure that you're using ones that would have been in the forest area versus the tundra, which is the cold areas where there's not much grass at all, to the taiga forests, which is like the pine tree forests, or even the tropical rainforest where it's more tropical, and even some where it would be more ocean based or more freshwater based, like a river basin, because those can be considered some unique environments as well there. So it would have looked a little bit different if we were able to do it in class, but hopefully we're getting the basics out of it anyways. It looks like we're starting to get the food chain thing all wrapping up, so hopefully we'll be able to move on to our next topic next week, which deals with the relationships that animals have with each other. So looking forward to that next week. It's going to follow kind of a similar schedule where you'll have a kind of the Pear Deck stuff to go over the notes on Monday, walk you through kind of the new terminology that we'll have. We'll have a worksheet kind of looking at the understanding of it on Tuesday, and then we're actually going to look at some videos on Thursday and Friday to see what some of the relationships are. So we're going to start looking at some of that stuff as we're winding down some of the essential content for the rest of the year. Make sure that you're doing everything that you can out there to stay upbeat, kind of stay loose with things, and make sure that you're getting everything that needs to be getting done. And hopefully you're being safe, and make sure that above all else that you're taking care of yourself, and always remember that it is a great day to be a junior Potter.